Barb, thanks for agreeing to talk to me today in your new role as president of the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kara.
And I'm sure this is a question that you're getting a lot, but what does your crystal ball show for Central Virginia and the real estate market?
Well, we've talked about it a lot. You and I have talked about it, and I think most people agree that we're looking for a slightly better market this year. I would say that we're optimistic, but we're cautiously optimistic. And what we are noticing is that, well, two things: affordability and availability. Our number of properties available has gone up. We have a number of properties, 800, I believe, in the less than $200,000 range. So
about 800 properties, and when you
Yes.
say on the market, what
Yes.
area does that include?
Well, covering our entire area, which would be most of Central Virginia, so Charlottesville, Albemarle, and all of the surrounding
Greene,
counties.
Orange,
Yes, absolutely.
Nelson.
Louisa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 800 properties under 200. So
Yes.
that definitely speaks to affordability,
Right.
something that we didn't see
No.
prior to the last 4 or 5 years.
No.
Do you remember what the average price,
I
median
believe
price was in
I believe
2010?
we were at about $284,000 is about a median price.
Mhm.
But that takes in all of the areas, so of course some are higher and some are lower. And median is a little bit misleading, since half would be higher and half would be
It's not an
lower.
average. The
It is
average
not.
is actually when
It's
you take,
correct.
if you have
Correct.
200 properties to sell you and they sell for
Exactly.
2 million, you divide it and they would be averaging $100,000, whereas
Right.
median is the equal number above and
below. And looking at the market, we're pretty flat from one year to the next. Not a huge change year over year. So we'll see.
So affordability
Mhm.
is good. And
Availability.
what, other than the price points, more availability and a lower price point,
Right.
what other things do you tie into affordability?
Well, the fact that the interest rates are so low, in fact, historically low, and continue to be, and we're told through the government buying in the bond market, at least through the spring, we're hopeful that the rates will continue to be good for some time.
In fact, there's some evidence that the Federal Reserve is really sort of
Correct.
repressing the inclination to increase rates because they do want a strong recovery in the housing sector.
So
That bodes well, I would
we'll be
think.
happy to make that happen.
What are some of the other trends that we've seen over the last few years that you think will continue through 2011?
Well, I think that sellers who price properties appropriately and stage them and present them appropriately are being rewarded for that, and they're being successful. And properties that go on the market at a very high price that aren't presented appropriately languish on the market. Although our days on the market hasn't really changed that much year over year. I think we're at about 111. Last 2 years, 110.
When you
111.
speak of presenting well,
Mhm.
what are some of just a few hints that you might consider, well, a seller might consider to make sure their property is well presented? Obviously price positioning
Right.
is important, but what are some of the
Well,
other
the
things?
best way that I know to describe it is to say that we talk about HGTVing a house, which is such a popular network these days, and a lot of our sellers understand immediately what we mean. In fact, we coach them and say, watch HGTV. They do staging to the nth degree. They remove clutter. They make it very tidy. They do painting. They do mulching. So
maybe
along those lines, it's
one
it's
final
great.
tip that we might give folks is to watch
Watch
Home and Garden TV, and you
Honest to
might
goodness.
get a lot of good
HGTV.
ideas on how to get your house
They
presentable for the market.
absolutely do.
And I hope that the next time that you join us on Interview Chat with Montague Miller, that we'll talk a little bit more about some things that sellers might do to help them prepare their house and have a successful sale. Thanks,
Thank you.
Barb.
Thank you.